Alright, so I'm doing a little update video. I mentioned a few months ago, for the 2 or 3 people that watch my videos, that sold my F100 that I was building, and that I built. We literally decided to sell everything and get out of Dodge. So for anybody that doesn't know, I live in North Mississippi. I used to. Really close to Memphis, Tennessee. We both had to work in Memphis every day. We both had to drive to work in Memphis. We had our dream house in Mississippi. We had 2 acres of land, nice house with porches and everything you ever wanted. But we just had to drive to Memphis for work every day. So kind of made our dream a nightmare sometimes. And on top of that, we've always wanted to move to Florida. We've always had dreams and aspirations of, originally the dream was to move to Fort Lauderdale. And, with my work, there's usually a place in every city. Sometimes there's a couple within, certain area of that city. And unfortunately, all of the ones that are around that Fort Lauderdale area, I would have to go in at night, second shift, something like that. I'm a truck driver, so I'm not an over-the-road truck driver. I work for a major carrier, freight carrier, but I don't work for one of those that has the sleeper trucks that goes over the road for weeks at a time. We go home, come back. If you're on the road, you go home you go to work at 5 o'clock at night. You get off at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, whatever. It's not, I work for a regular truck line. You would see an 18-wheeler driving around town delivering. So it's a regular truck line. So usually you would think that job you work at night, but it's not the case. So I work right now, and when I was in Memphis, I work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. We don't work weekends. It's kind of strange, but that's how it works. So in order to keep that shift, I have to pick a center that is called a dark terminal. They usually shut down operations about 7 o'clock at night. So your latest driver, no matter where they fall seniority wise, is probably going to come in about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning at the latest. So that's where I have to look. So when you transfer from one state to the next, one center to the next, you lose the seniority for that center, but you don't use your company seniority, so you're still covered there. But anyways, so I was limited to where I could look. So pretty much Fort Myers, Ocala, Clearwater, Dothan, and then Theodore, Alabama, which that's up in the Panhandle. We didn't want to go there. So we were kind of, southwest, south central, or whatever. Anyways, we kind of had, a few choices. That was it. So we wanted to go to Fort Myers originally. Unfortunately, didn't get that. And it would have, it still breaks our hearts not even being there. That's originally, we wanted to go to Fort Myers. We love Fort Myers. Fort Myers is beautiful. It reminds us of home. It's, you've got the beach, but then when you drive back over that bridge, you've got, you got some rural areas, you've got some, like suburbs and stuff like that. It's not just all city like it is here in Clearwater where we're at. We're actually in Seminole, so we're close to St. Pete. We're 3 miles from the beach. We're in a good spot, but it's city. There's no land here. You can't, it's, we're not going to buy a house here, and we know that now. So fortunately, we didn't get Fort Myers. Love Fort Myers. Really sorry for everything that's happened to everybody there in the last few weeks. It's just it sucks. Breaks our hearts just thinking about it. But so we did end up selling everything, obviously, and moving to. I got to transfer to Clearwater. Which it's cool. It's pretty here. The water's gorgeous. It's the prettiest water I've ever seen. We're close to the beach. Our lot rent's not very bad. I think the lot rent here, it's under $600. It's not even $600 a month for 2 vehicles. You pay an extra $40 to add a vehicle. So it's not bad. We have a good setup. We sold everything, gave away everything we couldn't sell, burned and threw away everything that we couldn't, do anything with. Bare essentials, everything we own is in this RV. So we get down here, we're full timing, and we're learning a few things as we're full timing. Obviously, this isn't the original camper we bought back in April or May of this year. we made a good lick off of our house. We'd only been in the house 2 years. Started building in the middle of 2019, right before everything hit. So we got super lucky with that. Our house, over the 2.5 years that we had it, increased in value over $100,000. So, that was a blessing for us. Unfortunately, for a lot of other people, the pandemic was just horrible. I mean, we were fortunate enough not to be affected by it negatively. We both had it, but we were very, very fortunate. So we kind of looked at it like, we've been looking at moving to Florida for 6-7 years. The pandemic is an unfortunate event, but with inflation and everything else coming out of all that, it gave us the opportunity to be able to pursue that dream if we wanted to. And we did. And there's a few things that I'll get into probably in another video, like, maybe that we should have done differently. If you're going to go full-time in an RV, it's not an investment. I know everybody probably, but anybody that's known anybody to buy an RV or that's owned an RV, it's not an investment. I mean, it's obviously not an investment. It's like a car. I mean, it's just an old car. It's not an investment. You're going to lose money. Taking all that money that you're making out of your house and rolling it into an RV and a truck to pull it, you're just throwing it away. So it's not a, we're going to do this for the time being. You have to be committed. I mean, you have to be ready to commit because, this is not a appreciating asset, it's a depreciating asset. So you just got to be prepared that you're going to lose money. But as far as the lifestyle goes, it's awesome. Like I said, we lived near Memphis for so long, and we wanted to go somewhere that when we walk outside it's pretty, and we don't want to deal with the cold weather. I don't like wearing pants. That's a joke that I make all the time. I don't like wearing pants. I'm not gonna walk around with boxer shorts. I'm not trying to scare everybody, but I wear gym shorts 24/7. When it's 50 degrees outside, I've got shorts on and a hoodie. So I'm built more for this kind of weather. So the thing with it is, it's like you just have to commit and go for it. It's worth it. It's scary. I've never moved anywhere. I've always lived at home. I've always lived around my family. Now we're 1,000 miles away from everybody we know. So that part of it sucks. It will be something you have to deal with. But we've been here since June. We got all the boo-hoos out of the way in June, crying, talking to family, stuff like that. We got all that out of the way in June, and we're settled in, and we love it. The only thing is, now our current situation is, we kind of want to try to get a house built in the next year or two. We've been looking up in Ocala because it's kind of country, it's rural. We can buy some land up there. We want that land again. We don't want to be right up on top of everybody like we are here, which we have awesome neighbors. They're cool as crap, but we have really cool neighbors. It's just the city life is not for us. We want something, and the beach is cool, but we only go, maybe once a week on Saturdays or something. So we don't have to live next to the beach. Like Craig Cunha said, we used to watch his videos, and Kate Coral, Fort Myers, he's a realtor down there. If you're going to the beach, you're going for the day. So you're an hour and a half away from the beach. As long as you're not, scared to make that drive, you can still go every Saturday. You're just, gonna have a long drive there, a long drive back, but you're going for the day. It's still available. It's still there. But we just noticed trying to live this life in an RV. Like, the RV is not the problem. It's we don't want to live in the city. And I would say, if you're going to do this, obviously make sure that you buy your second RV the first time. We thought we did that, and we didn't. We bought that Rockwood travel trailer. It was too small. We outgrew it before we even moved down here. We lived in it for 2 weeks up there before we moved down here, and we outgrew it before we even moved. We knew. On our way down here, we're like, oh man, all this is paid for. Cool. Maybe we'll trade it in, we'll sell it, we'll make a bunch of money, or we won't make a bunch of money, but we'll get some of our money back. We'll buy something bigger and we'll be good. It's not the case with an RV. RVs don't hold a value like that. Like, we literally lost $15,000 in 2 or 3 months, and we got a deal. The RV we bought, that Rockwood, we got MSRP was like between 50 and 60. It was like 55, or maybe it was 61, or just let's just say 55. I don't really know. It was in the 50s or something somewhere. We got it for low 40s. You know, we saved some money, we thought, buying it and trading it in. You know, we couldn't sell it. We live in it full time. Where are we going to go? So we were going to try to do it on consignment. But, you know, we got to have money down for the new one. This thing was expensive. This thing was twice what we paid for the other one almost, you know, and so we had to trade it in. And when we traded it in, we paid 44. We got 26 or 27. I mean, it's, you know, if we could have held out and, you know, just sold it outright, we probably could have gotten 33, 34, 35. You know, we could have made, you know, some of our money back, but we still would have lost our butt. So that's just something you got to think about, you know, and make sure you have the truck to pull it. Like, I don't have that F-150 anymore. I've got a 2500 HD, this new camper, so we bought a new truck, we bought a new camper. I could have paid cash for all this. If I would have known better, I could have sold my F-150, made money on it, turned around, paid cash for this camper, paid cash for my truck that I have out here now, and the new car that me and my wife bought that we weren't going to buy. We were trying to be without car notes. The new car that we bought her, we could have paid cash for that car, my truck out here, and this camper that I'm in right now, and been sitting here with $1,000 a month in bills with insurance and lot rent and water and lights and all that stuff. I could have just been socking money back. Now, granted, you know, once we got ready to buy a house or move or something like that, you know, we would have lost our butt on this thing. We still would have lost money. But now we have debt. We actually are paying on this, and now if we wanted to get out of it, I'm hoping we could sell it, but I don't know. I mean, you know, if we paid 80 grand for this thing, or 70 something like that, I mean, we owe 53. I mean, it may not be worth that. I mean, that's the scary thing about it. Like, learning, and I'm looking over here because my camera on my phone is over there. So I'm looking right at the middle of the phone. See, like, the camera, so I'm new to this. But, you know, unfortunately, you know, we're going to have to save our money and buy a house, you know, because, I mean, you know, we can't sell this and put the money down because there's no money left. So, I mean, but that being said, like, that's the negative of it, but we do love living in this thing. I mean, this thing's beautiful, it's comfortable, it's amazing. You can get it and go anywhere. If we wanted to go to the Keys for a week, you know, I think it was like, well, I found a spot that, and this has been a few months ago, I found a spot in the Keys during the off season. It was like 40 or 50 bucks a day. I mean, it was cheap. It might have been more than that, but it was like, you know, you have to be self-contained. You can't, you know, there's no sewer or anything like that. There's power, but you have to have your own water, and, you know, make sure you drain your tanks before you go. I mean, it was, you can go anywhere and your house is there. Like, no matter where, if you wanted to transfer, if I wanted to transfer to Ocala or transfer back up towards, you know, Mississippi somewhere, like, this is our house no matter where it is. And that's the cool thing about it. Like, it's going to feel like home no matter where you go, you know. So that's the perks of living in an RV full time. Just don't do it thinking you're going to get any money back out of it in the long run, because you're going to lose your money. So you're going to lose money unless you buy used or somebody gives you one for free, you know. But yeah, that's just kind of an update of what's going on. I'm going to do a video showing the truck and the RV and stuff like that. Like, I've already got a video, I just don't know how to edit stuff, so I can't add it to this. I haven't figured that part of it out yet. But I'll show the truck. I mean, I just got some wheels and stuff for it. I mean, it's a 2022 Silverado 2500 HD custom. It's white with the black bumpers, the black painted bumpers. It's got some bronze wheels on it. I'll show you guys. Now the window's closed, but I'll show you guys at some point. But that'll be in another video. But yeah, it's just an update. So RV life is cool. It's very fun. Just remember that, you know, life is not going to wait for you. So if you end up doing this and your kid ends up saying she's pregnant, and now she's 1,000 miles away about to have a grandbaby, and you're going to be away from her, then you're going to have to figure things out. The only good thing about it is this thing's got wheels on it, so we can go wherever we want to within reason. So just remember that. I mean, it's cool, it's mobile, but you also have to remember storms are you got to get out of town. Resale, forget about it. And, you know, eventually, you know, if you are like me and you had a house with a garage and all that stuff, you're going to want that again. So unless you're, you know, older, I'm 38 years old, so unless you're, you know, retired and you're at that point where you're like, look, I've had all that stuff and I'm tired of the maintenance, I want to just chill. Unless you're at that point, you're like me and you like working on stuff, they're not gonna let you work on things here. You can't change your oil. You can't do nothing. I mean, I may or may not do things here and there, but you really can't. You know, I want a garage again, so just keep that in mind. Eventually, you might want to go back to that. So try to make a decision where you can get out of it if you need to. So, anyways, till next time. See you guys later.